Hey guys, it's Nimbus. I'm back today with another video. I am a bit congested up today, so if I sound different, I apologize. Yeah, I might be drinking, I got some tea, I got some tissues, but we're gonna get this reading going for sure. I don't have like a fever or anything. I didn't have like I don't think I'm like I didn't test for COVID, but I don't think this is COVID because it's really just a stuffy nose. My throat was hurting a little bit, but I had the window open all night and my nose was already stuffed, so my throat started hurting. Now my throat feels better. So I don't know, but I'm hoping it's not COVID. I don't think it's COVID. I feel really good today. I just haven't slept. I'm just really tired. Last night I kept waking up because my nose was so stuffed. I, was drooling all over my pillow because my mouth had to be open, but then, then my nose would be running, so I had to blow my nose, and then, at one point my dog woke up too, and as I was going back to sleep, he shook and some spit landed right on the side of my head, which was just delightful at 3:30 in the morning. It was fantastic. It was great. Anyway, I really wanted to do something a little bit different today to start. I wrote this poem in high school, and I really wanted this to be I wanted to put this everywhere. I wanted to be known for writing poetry in my school. Like, I wrote poems. Like, I kept writing. So, this one specifically I wanted to read today because I think it fits very well with where we are in the world. And yeah, I think I'm just going to read it, and yeah. I am the battleground, a wasted brain, an empty body, a dead carcass, an empty soul. All results of one thing: horrible memories, evil thoughts, killing, and lack of control, all end in this final state. The battleground, the wasteland, the darkness of pride, the evilness of war, the death, the pain, the suffering, the never-ending reign of grief, all for what? To settle 5 minutes of a disagreement? Innocent lives taken, little children orphaned, animals hurt because people need to rule everything, people's rights forsaken. For no reason at all, done from fear because it would be considered treason. Done because they are ordered to, not by the orphans or animals, but by people who can't settle anything on their own. I am the battleground of which your war is placed upon. My generation grows up with guns blazing and bombs exploding. Why? Because only one person or country in the world can have power. And who is that one person or country? Everyone thinks it's them. Well, I'm here to say, war is not right to be raised in. If I am forced to be the battleground, my life should not revolve around the war. I should have some time, some day, to get up and say, I am not a puppet. And I'm not. I'm a human being. Free will and freedom is what I should have. Not war in my backyard and guns firing in the middle of the night. Not hearing screaming and yelling from fright. I don't want to die because of some stupid dispute. I want my life to play out and be what I dream about. It's never about me. To me, it's about the people who have less than me. It's about the animals who are killed for no reason on a daily basis. It's about the children who have nowhere to go because their parents were murdered. Who's helping them? Not enough people. If I'm the battleground, then I'm going to fight for what I want, for what I believe in, for my chance to be something, for my chance to help any way I can. If I'm the battleground, don't I get some say in what should go on? Don't I get to stand up and scream that something isn't right? Don't I have the right to speak my mind and tell people what I think? All of those are my rights. I'm too young, they say. But if I'm the battleground for their war, who's really too young. And see. Yeah, so I wrote that in high school, 17, 18 years old. But with everything happening all over the world right now, it's almost like that makes a little bit more sense. And speaking, obviously I wrote that, and it was from my perspective, and oh, woe is me, suburban white kid, oh no. All we learned about growing up was the terrorists that lurk in the shadows, ready to pounce on any American, right? And at that point, it wasn't about kids getting to grow up as human beings. That was about kids growing up, believing certain things to make sure the government had their way completely, right? So at this point, we've seen that children and women, especially pregnant women, have been targeted. Maternity wards and hospitals have been specifically targeted, along with there not being any more hospitals at all in Gaza, because I'm just going to say it at this point. I'm shadow banned, but I can't stop talking about it. I mean, I was going to try to hide it, but I can't stop talking about it. If my videos don't get out there, they don't get out there. But at this point, we can't repeat the same mistakes that we've had before. And we cannot repeat the same issues and the same things where we see somebody, we're like, oh, I need to vote for them, or oh, they need to be in office, whatever. And then they get to be in office, whatever office that is, and now all of a sudden their views changed. Now all of a sudden everything's different. Now all of a sudden it doesn't matter anymore. Now all of a sudden none of it was ever an issue to them. Empty promises every single time. And the whole time, the majority of people who are suffering from those decisions are younger people. But yeah, we can't stop talking about this stuff because, yes, we're being... All of the content is being suppressed. We know this. We figured that this was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. But we can't be quiet about it. That's exactly what they want us to do. They want us to be quiet about it. They want us to make sure that we're not talking about it. They want us to make sure that nobody is going to see any of this content. People are going to see this content, though. I know that much. I know that much. But yeah. Please do not stop talking about the rights and the basic human necessities that people are being deprived of in everywhere right now at this point, but really specifically because at this point women are using sanitary pads that are, instead of sanitary pads, they're using bits of tent, like old pieces of their tent as sanitary pads. Their, C-sections have gone up. The amount of miscarriages have gone up by, I think it was 300% since that day that it all started. Oh my gosh. Anyway. But yeah, it's just mind-blowing. I don't understand people. There's delusional, and then there's those people who are like, do it. Get rid of them. Anyway, before I really get in trouble. So today is the 29th of January. We are going to use the Marigold Tarot. And, of course, our pride message and our sweary affirmation afterwards. Elderberry tea will have you right. Oh. I don't know if y'all saw it. Be thankful. I love this. Be thankful. No, but seriously. So yeah, let's get breathing if you guys would like to. As always, really quick, my website is open for one-on-ones, as well as my poetry is also up on there. You know, just some of my poems. But yeah. Alright, so we are going to get started breathing right now if you guys would like to. If you guys don't want to, go ahead and skip to right here, and yeah. Otherwise, we are going to get breathing. So if you guys do want to breathe, go ahead and put your hands flat down in your lap or flat down on the table in front of you. Put your feet flat down on the floor, and we are going to sit up straight and close our eyes. We're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouths. Deep breaths. And yeah, if I'm breathing a little bit too slow or too fast for you guys, you can go ahead and breathe however you need to. You know, skip ahead and pause and breathe however you need to, or just do it as I'm doing it, whatever you want to do. You know, don't hurt yourself. I don't want anything, you know, nothing bad to happen to anybody. You know, it's just to connect more clearly for a collective reading. You know what I mean? As you know, get as many things out of a collective reading as you can, and me give as much information for the collective as I can. Because it is just a collective reading, so not everything is going to fit, but if you are more connected to the reading and to the collective, then you'll be able to pick it apart and kind of see what pieces are for you and what aren't. But yeah. So if you guys are ready, go ahead and close your eyes, sit up straight, and we are going to get started. Breathe in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, last one, out. Okay guys, go ahead and breathe normally now. Releasing any tension that you may have from your head all the way down to your feet. Doing some neck rolls if you need to. Maybe some shoulder rolls. So much. You know, move your arms around, move your legs around. Stretch out anything if you need to. Alright, take one more deep breath in and out. Breathe normally and open your eyes. Alright guys, if you guys need more time, go ahead and pause it now, otherwise we are going to get started. But yeah, so we are going to use the Marigold Tarot today. I love this deck. It is a beautiful deck. It's one of my favorite decks that I own. It's just a gorgeous deck. Everything is, you know, everything is gold and just gorgeous. The art is cool. You know, all of it's just so cool. It's just so cool. Anyway, okay, so yeah, so today is January 29th. So we are going to do, we'll just do a timeless energy check, I think, today. I was thinking about a couple things, but I kind of just want to keep it a little bit basic today. I don't want to do anything too crazy. Alright. So, yeah, so today we are just going to do just a basic energy check. This video will be timeless, so you can watch it whenever. Okay, well, that already flipped over. Got the Four of Rings. I'm not taking that yet, but already flipped over. Oh. But yeah, okay, so Spirit, what's our message for today? Jared, what's our message for today? For this energy check? Okay. There we go. Okay. We got the Devil. Two of Wands. The Fool reversed. Okay, I see where this is going. It's what are the words that I'm looking for? The Devil to me is, you know, it's usually addiction, it's usually stuff to the effect of like forcing something out of you. With the Two of Wands, at least for right now, with the Two of Wands, it's okay, wait here. With the Fool reverse, it's like negligence in something with this. So I wonder if like you're negligent with yourself in like how you're trying to handle an addiction. Like it's totally, with the Two of Wands, it could go either way. You could either get over this and like you could have all of the, you can have everything that you wanted, or you'll end up falling back into these old habits. It's the Devil, the Two of Wands, and then the Fool reversed. So it's almost like you're being pulled both directions. And the negligence and the... Maybe, okay, negligence might be like a heavy word for that, because it's not quite like you're... It's more like you're just ignoring what it is that you actually need to be doing. Like, you're wandering around like the Fool, but you know what to do at this point. Like none of it's new anymore, right? The Four of Wands reversed. You pretty much know what to do at this point. there's like this need for like embellishment and like forced opulence. That's like you need to appear where you feel like you should almost, but it's more like you might be doing more damage to yourself than good because you're putting on a character almost instead of like just being yourself. Like, you're still wandering through new territory and you're learning new things for sure, as the Fool would, but you're not necessarily right. The Hermit. You're not doing the work that's responsible for opening up those the next pathways. Like, you're sitting there maybe thinking like, oh, you know, if I just do this enough, it'll be fine. Or if I just, you know, if I just ignore these things, maybe they'll just go away. Because look, I have these nice things. I have, you know, I have these nice things. I have, you know, things that I've always wanted. I have whatever it is. But little did we all know that that could also be an addiction. That could also be what is like ready to like get us in the back. You know what I mean? But, and I've been talking about the Hermit quite a bit recently. It's been coming up in, I think, my last 3 or 4 videos. I mean, it's a good time for it. You know, it's the middle of winter. Oh, 4 of Rings. Wild. You know, it's the middle of winter. It's a good time to retreat and go within and really kind of figure out what it is, where your stability will come from. Like you have stuff. You have material things. You have, like, whether it's wealth or like you came into a house, or like you got a house, like you inherited a house, like something like that. It's like this embellishment of, well, okay, now I'm fine, nothing else, I'm good. And it's like, okay, but there's still work to be done. Like, you still have to like be okay with yourself. You know, like, no amount of like getting a new home or remodeling your house or whatever it is, or like, or you know, adding on something to something. It's not necessarily a house, but for this example it is. Like, you're not just gonna be a better person because your house looks different, or you got a new house, or what, or you moved, or whatever it is. You're not going to be a different person. If you're just buying stuff to have nice things because you want to show them off because you have money to have nice things, that kind of defeats the purpose of having nice things because you can afford them. You know what I mean? The whole point is to have nice things because you can walk around and say, yeah, look, I'm wearing whatever designer brand, cool. You know, your couch doesn't have to be that, though. You know what I mean? You know, your couch could be from fucking live-in furniture if it needed to be. But it's almost like, okay, well, sticking with like the material aspects of it, I wonder if part of that is, like, you know, we all love going thrift shopping. We all love going to like TJ Maxx and Ross and all that stuff. But like, there comes a time where it gets to be like too much of like going shopping and like too much spending money and like too much doing these things when we know that we either should be saving or just not spending money on that. You know what I mean? Jesus, just flew out. The Queen of Cups. Like, there's this clear happiness that's coming into you, and maybe buying stuff really does make you happy, you know, again, this is just an example. I don't know specifics on what it is, but like maybe like the act of like doing this just makes you happy, but like that's the problem. If you can't find happiness after you do it, like after you say like when you get home with the $3,000 of stuff that you just bought, are you happy with the stuff? Or are you thinking about like, oh, this girl's going to be jealous when she sees me wearing this, or this guy's going to be like, oh, what the fuck, how'd you get that? Like, is it for other people or is it for you? Are you doing it because you want other people to view you differently, or are you doing it because you genuinely like how it looks, or the fact that it is designer, or whatever it is? You know what I mean? One card at a time, please, Spirit. Okay. One card at a time, please. Death. There's always going to be that cycle of, once you figure it out, a part of you has to fall away. Or like, habits have to fall away. You know what I mean? They just have to. They're not, it's not a punishment. It's not, it might feel like it, but it's not to make you feel like shit. It's not to put you in your place. It's not to do anything like that. It's to get you set up to have the things that you want to have. Excuse me, burp for confirmation. It's to get you set up to have the things that you want to have. Like, plus, you're not going to go through a death and rebirth until, like, you're sure on where you want to go. On any level. You know what I mean? So, like, you wouldn't be getting this reading right now if you weren't ready to move on past these things. You know what I mean? Like, shit. It definitely feels like it could go, like I was saying with the Two of Wands, it definitely feels almost like it could go either way, but it feels like you're leaning more towards, like, getting over it and, like, actually moving, you know, taking the time for yourself and, like, sitting with yourself in the Hermit. Right. Strength reversed. It does take a lot of strength to actually do that. You know, as with everything, there's always going to be that fine line between, like, what's, like, really, really good and then, like, what ends up being problematic. You know what I mean? Like, it comes to a point where you gotta balance that out with all of it. I know it's the Strength card, but you gotta balance out the what you're really good at with what you're not so good at, so that way the things that you're not so good at hopefully kind of like fall away enough to where you can kind of like fill that space in with more things that work better for you. And even if those are, you know, mindsets like self-doubt or, you know, anything, you know, learning how to deal with your anxiety better. Stuff like that. Judgment. Yeah. Yeah. There's like, well, okay, spring's coming up in two months. You know, we got this sense of renewal coming. But there's also like a sense of renewal in this reading anyway, not even really spring related, but like even like I was saying, like a change of house. Like, it's not going to solve all your problems, but like, say your issues are like people in the neighborhood, or like a loud neighborhood, or like, you know, just, you know, people are inconsiderate, whatever it is. You know, moving, you're always going to have a neighbor that you're not necessarily going to like. There's always going to be somebody on your street that you're not going to like. You know what I mean? But like, moving can definitely solve that enough to where it's now only 1 or 2 neighbors instead of 6 or 7. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it could be that this hermit mode, you know, this like really introspective moment could lead to, you know, different doors than we ever thought possible. You know, it's not always going to go as planned, but it's also not just going to be... It's also not just going to be, like, totally different from what you want. You know what I mean? It might not be, like, if you say, I want to have this by Thursday, okay, you might get it by Friday. You know what I mean? But it's not like you're not getting it. Anyway, Temperance came out. Yeah, I mean... And it's like this feeling of... like coming out of hibernation. Like you're finally... truly stepping out into who you really are. Well, yeah, with the Four of Rings, with the money talk, it's almost like, you know how like people get mad because like, you know, they're, you know, when they're in high school or whatever, their parents get them a bank account or whatever, but it's like a joint bank account, so it's like with their parents, and they get mad because they're like, you know, well, I'm grown, you know, whatever. It feels like there just needs to be like a little bit more management of what actually happens. Six of Wands. It's like, you know, the six of Wands is a very hopeful card. Like, buying stuff is still okay, but it's like the amount of stuff that you buy at a time. Like, do you actually have the money, or are you just deciding that it's fine today? You know? The Emperor. You know, stability is huge. But like, if you have hope and stability, you know, you're unstoppable at that point. Spirit, what's our last two cards? We got the Nine of Rings reversed. And then we got the Ace of Rings. And on the bottom of the deck, we got the Page of Cups. With the Nine of Rings reversed, it's almost like this sense of like, you gotta go around some stuff to get to where you actually want to be. But it's it's around, it's you're going rogue, but in the sense of you're still listening to Spirit, the Creator, God, the universe. You're still listening. You're still doing what they're telling you to do, but you're not going about it the way that you wanted to do it. You know what does that make sense? So like it's this sense of like, okay, I'm doing this all wrong, but there is a reason behind it, because you're not doing it wrong, you're doing it differently than you wanted to do it in the first place. If that makes sense. 444 as I say that. Yeah. Like the success will be coming to you for sure. Like the aces are all about, you know, the divine coming in and helping gift these things to you. Like blessings are coming in regardless, but you have to make room for them first, like no matter what. And again, it might feel really difficult. It might feel like you're being, you know, dragged along the street, but it's again, as long as you have hope and stability, it's pretty much all anybody could ask for. You know what I mean? But yeah, so let's do our pride message really quick, see what comes out. Spirit, what's our pride message for today? We got comfort, gender rebel. Don't sacrifice your own comfort to ease others' discomfort. If someone feels uncomfortable because of who you are, it's their responsibility to work on themselves. Yeah. And you have to be willing to let people be uncomfortable because you exist. Like, it's not easy being the one who, you know, I'm used to the stares. I got 4 face piercings and a face tattoo. Like, I'm used to people staring at me. But, like, at a certain point, though, it gets to a point where I'm just like, I get it, but, like, everybody acts like they haven't seen this stuff before. Everybody acts like they haven't heard about this stuff before. Everybody acts like none of it's true. You know what I mean? People know what the fuck tattoos are. People have seen people with face tattoos everywhere. But it's like this whole thing of like, you know, when I got my first tattoo, I had family members who were like, you're not in a gang though, right? And I'm like, no. Why would I be in a gang? Of all people. Why would I be in a gang? But I had to quickly realize, like, it's not about them anyway. It's about me. I wanted to do this. I wanted to wear this. I want to look how I look every day. I wanted to grow my beard out. Nobody else did. I wanted to dye my hair. Nobody else did. Other people do, but I did it for me. I didn't do it to make other people uncomfortable, but if other people are uncomfortable, that's on them completely. That's not, I'm not going to rip my tattoo off. I'm not going to take my piercings out because some random old white woman wants to sit there and be like, for 45 minutes at the line, in line at the grocery store. I don't care. Be upset. You can take a picture if you really want to. It'll last longer. Like, I don't know what people want from other people from, like, when they just stare at you. But it's like, again, it's not your responsibility to make them understand, let alone be comfortable with it. It's on them completely. Only. You know. But anyway. Keep on kissing. Says sexuality. Embrace your need for affection, sensuality, and expression of desire. Understanding your sexuality and self come hand in hand. It's inevitably part of the process on your journey of self-discovery. True. And that's not necessarily about like who you're fucking or like whatever like that. It's more so just like about how you like to experience these things. It's not necessarily about who it is and why. It's more so like finding out what you enjoy. You know what I mean? Obviously, sexually, that's a very small or big, I don't know, do what you do, section of your life. So, you know, you gotta keep that in mind, because it shouldn't be everything about you, but I mean, it is a big part of your life, but it's not like, you know, if somebody's gay, they don't necessarily need to make that their entire personality. Some people do, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, be who you are for sure, but like, don't be who you are at the expense of yourself, or like for the sake of, you know, be yourself because you could inspire other people to be themselves, but don't inspire people because you want them to be you. Does that make sense? I don't know if that made any sense. We got a gay donut. Instinct. Trust your gut. Your subconscious has its own language. While it may not often make sense, most of the time, what it has to say has value. Take some time to listen. Yeah. And that comes from sitting with yourself and learning who it is you truly are. Like, excuse me. You know, there's no one-size-fits-all path for everybody. You know what I mean? And there's not really going to be a way to, like, just decide one day that, oh, I want to be, I don't know, you know, something crazy. You know, whatever it is, you're going to have to work for it, and it's going to have to be, I mean, it's going to be work. It's going to be a decent amount of work to get to where you want to be. But it also shouldn't put you off of what you want because it's going to take some work. You know what I mean? Like, that should almost be enough of, like, inspiration, almost. You know, working for the rest of your life doesn't really sound fun, but doing something fun, getting paid for it for the rest of your life does sound fun. You know what I mean? I definitely don't want to say work a 9 to 5 if, you know, if you don't want to. I'm not going to say that. If you find that fun, go ahead and do whatever you do. But, you know, if it's more important for you to, like, find, you know, start your own business and have your own hours and all that kind of thing, or, like, work for a small local business that has, you know, more flexible hours, something like that, you know what I mean? Like, trust your gut. You'll get to where you need to get to. The correct doors will open for you, for sure. Spirit, what's our swearing affirmation for the day? Positive vibes only. Fuck negativity. True. It's cold. Womp womp. Anyway. Yeah. Don't ever let anybody dim your light, no matter what. But again, hope and stability, what more could you really want? And when you know that what you are doing or saying or whatever is you standing 100% in your truth and you're being 100% authentic, again, nobody can. What are they going to do to you? All they can do is lie at that point. You know what I mean? I mean, look at what's going on right now with They Who Shall Not Be Named on with this rap beef. It's hilarious, honestly. The silence is what's really getting her, and it's hilarious. I mean, it sucks to watch, but it's funny because she's been doing this for too long. I used to be a huge fan, too, and that's what really sucks. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. But this really is a nice energy because it's a very refreshing, renewing energy. It's very you know, it's a little bit heavy, but it's not like heavy in like a dark, like angry or sad kind of sense. It's like heavy, just like it's more so like the energy is just gonna take some time to like actually move through. You know, it's not like a weighted down heavy energy. It's like just a slow moving, you know, just creeping along kind of thing. But that's because it has to be meticulous. Like there has to, like it has to be a very certain things that happen. And again, we all have to figure out what that is for ourselves. Like I don't know specifics, but I do know that no matter what, no matter what, the more that you really sit with yourself and, you know, do the introspection, because we're always healing, we're always learning more, we're always healing. It's a never-ending journey. You know what I mean? Like we're never done healing. There's always more to heal because there's always going to be something else that comes up. So that, you know, consistent introspection, you know, not necessarily every single day for 17 years, but like, you know, taking a couple days, every couple, you know, every now and then, you know, every couple of months, every year, whatever it is. But like just to sit with yourself, like, is where I am right now in line with where I want to be in the future? Is where I am right now making me happy? Is where I am right now, you know, all these things. Am I setting myself up for where I want to be? Am I doing the right, do I feel like I'm doing the right things for where I want to go? That kind of thing, or those kinds of things. But yeah, and I mean, as long as you stop viewing any of this with a lack mindset, and like with this mindset of it's fine because I'll never get there anyway, that's what's hurting you the most. It would hurt anybody the most. You know what I mean? Which, if that's part of it, the self-doubt, the self-deprecating talk, that's a big thing that would need to go. You know what I mean? But yeah, that is all I'm seeing for you guys today. I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys stayed this long, please like, share, comment, subscribe. I do have my Cash App and Venmo down below. Go ahead and tip me if you guys would like to. But if you guys, I would like to ask you guys to join me in to various organizations around the world, wherever you would like to it to. You know, take whatever tip money and just it. Make sure that where you are is a good place that's going to help the people. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, fuck it. Free Palestine, from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Period. There's nothing else to that. Keep talking about it. Keep going. We gotta keep going. As long as there's still people to fight for, we're gonna keep fighting. It's just what it is. Y'all have the day that y'all deserve. I love y'all. Be safe. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.